Okay. Sorry, let me get it set up. There we go. Okay, congratulations. You just found out that you're having a baby. Now what? How are you going to take care of that baby once it's born and needs you 24/7? Will you take time away from your job to dedicate to your family? If you're an American, it may be a little bit more complicated to do that. America is one of seven out of 193 countries in the UN that does not provide a federal paid parental leave program. Only 11 states in the US offer some form of state-level parental leave. There have been a few proposals on how to fix the parental leave problem in the US. If 186 other countries in the UN can provide a federal leave program, the United States should be able to as well. There is a serious lack of support for new and growing families in the US, and the government needs to adjust to the standards of today. There are many approaches to handling this prominent issue in the US. Let's break them down and see which one is beneficial to everyone. Some constructive questions about this issue are: how will we pay for it? How will we implement it? And who will qualify? These are all answerable questions, and each question has a variety of options. The first option is the Family Act, which has already been proposed to Congress and seems to be the most beneficial to citizens. It provides 12 weeks of paid leave for new or growing parents, or people who are experiencing a medical emergency, or people who need to care for an ailing family member. This is executed through a payroll tax, similar to Social Security, which is implemented on the employer, the employee, or both. Payroll taxes are not the only potential financial mechanism. Like any program, it could also be funded through income and corporate taxes. This puts the need of the employees first and allows them to take the time they need without the financial burden of not getting paid for up to 12 weeks. In Romick and Bryant's article, a national paid leave program would help workers and families. They state, broad coverage enables the maximum number of workers to take leave, from young parents to older caregivers. It also reduces the cost per worker by spreading the cost among the widest risk pool. It allows participation by workers who employers don't offer robust benefits, such as part-time workers, gig workers, and independent contractors. Now, there are some downsides to this option, such as that it puts a lot of burden on the businesses, depending on the payroll tax breakdown. Maya Rawson-Slater from the Stanford Institute for Economic Policy Research says, a central concern among opponents of PFL, paid family leave, is about the cost imposed on employers. Even if employers do not have the funds to fund the leave, as in like California and New Jersey, they could face indirect costs from needing to hire replacement workers or coordinating schedules of their employees. This is the most supported solution to the parental leave crisis in the US, but there are two other options that are more conservative in their approach. Another option would be to provide a 12-week parental leave program that is more of like a tentative loan, which the employee would have to pay back with possible interest. This has been proposed in the New Parents Act and the Cradle Act. This approach would provide the paid parental leave, but it would require the parent to pay back the amount by either losing some of their Social Security benefit or having their child tax credit reduced. This is more business-supported approach because it puts the burden on the parents. This approach would also only apply to newer growing families. It does not qualify or does not apply to anyone with medical leave needs. Some upsides to this option is that it does not cost the business or government in the long run and can actually create revenue with interest. And it can be done prior to the leave by cutting retirement benefits or tax cuts to preemptively provide for the new child. But there are some downsides, like it creates financial burden on those who need the leave and can affect them greatly in retirement. Also, it would contribute to the growing turnover rate and labor shortage due to having one parent stay at home instead of taking the tax hit. This approach is more business-oriented and can cause a lot of turmoil to the new family who has to weigh the pros and the cons of having to pay the payroll back. Even though this is not ideal for the parent, it does appeal to more conservative lawmakers and could get more support in Congress. This would at least provide an option to the American people, which is more than they have now. The last option would be keeping the decision of paid parental leave to the states. The states would decide on how they would go about providing a parental leave program and whether or not it would be paid or unpaid. Currently, there are 11 states that offer some form of parental leave. California, for example, has the FMLA, which is the Family Medical Leave Act, which provides 12 weeks of unpaid leave and job protection. They also have a paid parental leave program that families can apply to receive 6 weeks of paid leave at 60 to 70% of their monthly income. This gives the power back to the states and allows them to decide on how to approach the issue. This avoids any federal involvement at all. Not all states will see this as a priority, and they may choose to continue not offering a parental leave benefit. This also does not promote forward change from the current standard. This is the least progressive option, but it takes the federal government completely out of the issue. So let's review the options and see which is most achievable with a benefit to as many people as possible. There is no doubt that the U.S. is seriously lacking in its support of new and growing families. This has been an issue for almost the last 40 years, but has never been made a priority until recently. Congress has 3 different options to tackle this issue at hand. As one of the most influential countries with the largest economies in the world, we should be able to afford a program so that so many other countries seem to have no problem fulfilling. America is the only first world country out of the 7 in the UN that does not offer a paid parental leave program. So tell me, which do you think is beneficial to everyone? Would you be willing to pay an extra payroll tax to be able to provide for new and growing families the support they need while caring for a child? This is a real issue that will affect most people in this audience. Paid parental leave is a necessity, not a privilege. And that's it.